Hello, welcome to my house and welcome to my channel. I'm Laura Cepeda and today I'm going to show you how you can make these little purse by using the rise stitch. You know that in previous videos I have taught you some steps and some beginner steps if you want to learn how to knit and how to use your needles. Well, today I'm going to show you how you can make a more complete project by putting in practice all that you have learned in previous videos. Okay, so you will see that it's very easy and I love this project. Besides that it's easy, it's also beautiful and I think it's very helpful too. Okay, if you have a special event or if you need to give a gift or if you want to make this to sell, to start your own business, well, I think it's an amazing opportunity because you will need just a few material and in less time you will have a purse. So, well, we will start, and remember that before we start, it's very important that you subscribe to this channel. Well, enjoy! To buy all the materials that I use in all my videos, you can visit my online store www.lauracepeda.es and we will send it right to your house. We will need needles of number 5 and an skein yarn that it's a fine material. In this color, okay, we will use all the tips that I have taught you in previous videos. So first we will cast on the stitches. Remember that this is the way that I know and to me this is the easiest, and also with this technique you won't waste any material. So we will start casting on the stitches like this. For small hand purse we are going to cast on 25 stitches. And one of the tips that I always give you for any project is that if you don't know how to calculate, I suggest that you make a sample, okay, with the same number of needles that you are going to make your project, with the same yarn and with the same stitch. And with this you will take a reference so you can see exactly how many stitches you need and also how many yarn you need. For example, 50 centimeters for 50 centimeters sample. Guess what? I remember that for this stitch we will need to have even numbers. So at the end I cast on 24 stitches. We are going to make one knit and one pour. So if we knit the first one, we will have to do this. Okay, this is how we knit, and then once we have the stitch in the other needle we will let it go. Now to pour we are going to place the thread in front and we are going to take the stitch like this, you see, and then we will take the thread with the other needle, bring them through the stitch and let go the last stitch. Now we are going to knit, because remember that we are going to alternate. Once we are going to knit and then we will pour. And like this is how we are going to continue the whole row. At the end of the row we will finish with one pour. Well, this technique it's very used, it's very common in all the projects. You will see that beside this stitch it's easy, it's beautiful too. I'm going to make, in this case, the stitch a little bit tight because I want to have upwards. So I don't want to have the big holes, you know, because I want to keep things inside it. Well, here we are finishing the row. As I told you, we will finish pouring one according to the sequence that we follow because we started knitting one. Well, at the end of the row, we will turn around, and always at the beginning and in the first row it's a little bit difficult, but well, you will see that with the next rows it will be easier. Well, once that we finish the first row, now we are going to pass the first stitch without knitting. Why? Because we want to keep our edge straight and tight. If we knit this stitch, this first stitch, it will look a little bit wide at the end. So I give you this tip that we will pass the first stitch without knitting, and then we will continue, and now we will change. Where we pour, we are going to knit, and when we knit, we are going to pour. As you see, in this stitch means that we pour in the last stitch because we have this thread in front. So we are going to knit. Now you see we don't have this thread in front, so this means that we knit in the last row. So like we are alternating, this means that here we are going to pour. So now here we are going to knit, then pour. And while talking about in terms of the rise stitch, I know that there are a lot of different ways to make the rise stitch. This is the simplest way to make the rise stitch. This is the basic. I know that there is the double rise stitch and many others, but this is the basic. So I wanted to start with the first steps and with the basic stitch. You will see, and also it's one of my favorites, you will see at the end how beautiful this stitch is. So we will continue like this the whole row, alternating the stitch. Well, if you're just starting how to knit it, it's important also how we hold the needle, because if not we can damage our wrist. So we have the hand and we take the needle like this, and with the other hand we made the same, but we put the threads between these fingers to keep everything in each place, okay? And you will see it's easier, and try to have any support under your arms, so it will be easier, and you will see that you will at the end you will finish less tired. Remember that this is to relax, so relax yourself and enjoy. Look, this is the end of the second row, and we will start like we started the second row. Remember, we are going to pass through the first stitch, and now you see here we don't have this thread in front, so this means like we are alternating the stitch, that here we are going to pour, and where we pour, you see we are going to knit, so let's knit, then pour and knit. So basically we are going to continue alternating. What we made in the last row, we are going to make the opposite. And we will repeat this for several rows more until we get the long that we need. In this case, remember that I'm going to make a hand small pores. So I'm going to make more rows because I want to fold it, and then I want to sew it to the sides to form the shape of my pores. So at the end I will tell you how many rows I made for these small pores, but you are going to make the rows that you need according to the projects that you are making. If you want, also you can use this stitch for a scarf, for a sweater. It's very common actually to use it for a sweater or for a baby jacket. But well, I think that first it's important that you start by making a small project, and then you can make bigger projects. But first practice, and why not practicing by making this small purse, making something useful. Well, I want to stop here because I want you to see that yes, it really looks like rice, right? I love it, and as you see here we have the edge straight if we continue following the tip that I gave you to pass through the first stitch without knitting. And this is how it looks in the other side. Well, let's continue making more rows, and at the end I will tell you how many I made. Well, look, to be honest, I didn't count how many rows I made, but I will measure it so you can take it as a reference and see more or less how many rows you need. I made 18 centimeters, and I think that it's enough for the kind of purse that I want, okay? I just want to keep my phone and just my credit cards, and that's it. So I think it's enough. And now what we are going to make is that we are going to reduce some stitches. You will see that it's very easy. I know that if you are just starting, this might be a little bit scary, right? But don't worry, I will tell you how it is. Well, one more tip that I give you is that use your markers. If you don't have markers like this one, use the thread of other yarn in different colors so you can tell exactly where you started to reduce. So look, to reduce, we are going to use this part as a reference. So where we have this thread, and when we are here, this means that we won't reduce, okay? Only in the other side. So let's start. Well, we will pass the first stitch. Now you see that here we have to pour because in the last row we need. So if we want to reduce two, we will take both the stitches like this, and we will take both by making pour. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble here. Like I'm looking through the camera, sometimes it's just difficult to focus where is my stitch, but well, I think yes. So like this is how we are going to reduce. Okay, it's okay to have two stitches here together, you won't notice, and then you will continue with the stitch. Okay, we will continue alternating. If we pour in the last row, well, we have to knit, and where we knit we have to pour. And well, I will show you also one more way to reduce. Maybe we should also take the lead of the second stitch. So even if the second stitch we pour, well, we are going to knit by taking both of the stitches like this. But guess what? I think I'm going to make them again, because here I have these loosened threads, so I'm going to repeat. So you can make either of take off the sequence of the first stitch that we are going to reduce, or of the second one. You will decide, but it's the same, okay? And then we will continue with the rest of the stitch, okay? Where we have to pour, we knit, and when we knit, we have to pour, okay? And now when we have 3 stitches left, we are going to stop there, because I'm going to teach you something, okay? So for now, let's continue and see you until I have 3 stitches left in this row. So look here, we have 3 stitches left, and we need the last stitch, this one. So this means that we are going to take the next 2 stitches and we are going to pour to reduce, and then we will knit the last one. Now we have reduced 1 stitch each side to keep with the triangle shape that we want for the pores, okay, for the design, according to the design of the pores that we want. So now what we are going to make is that we are going to make all the stitches in this row. We won't reduce until the next row. Again, we will repeat. So we will follow the same instruction where we are going to alternate the stitches. So see you at the end of this row. So look, I finished this row. I'm going to reduce in this new row. Okay, so we are going to pass the first stitch, and then we will follow the path of the second stitch. So this means that we have to pour, because according to the second stitch we knit in the last row. So we are going to take both stitches like this, and we are going to pour, and then remember that we are going to continue as the stitch show us, okay? Where we pour, we have to knit, and we'll make the opposite. And also when we have 3 stitches left, we will reduce in the other side. Like this, we are going to continue by following the instructions that I gave you. Well, just a quick reminder is that we will finish in all the rows with the same stitch by making pour to have a straight edge too. Well, I followed the instructions. I reduced in one row, and when I came back I make all the stitches, and then until the next row I reduce again both stitches in both sides. So now I have 7 stitches left, and now it's time to bind off. So the way that we bind off is that taking 2 stitches together and knitting them and come back with one. And like this is how we are going to bind off all the stitches. Remember that I have taught you in previous rows how to bind off more, taking more time in this part. But well, it's very easy. So at the end you will finish with just 1 stitch. You will cut and you will pass this thread through, and then we finished. At the end, you will hide this thread using your embroidery needle. What we are going to make now, instead we are going to sew in the sides, and if you want you can make a cord too to have a longer back, but you will decide. Well, with embroidery needle and also using the same color of and the yarn, we are going to use the embroidery needle to sew the sides. So we are going to make a knot here in the corner, and we will start. This stitch also, it's one of the stitches that I always use in all my projects when we are about to sew, because with this you won't create any pleat. So this stitch is the invisible stitch. So we will take one stitch from here and one stitch from the other side. It is important that if you started to take both the stitches each side, you will continue taking all the stitches like this, okay? And like we are sewing here, we are going to sew in the other side, okay? So see you there to teach you how we are going to finish. So at the end where we finish to sew, we are going to make this last stitch like this, and we are going to pass it through to make a knot. Before you cut, it is important that you hide this thread through the project, and then you will cut, okay? So look, so pass them through and then cut here. And also these threads that we have here, we are going to use the embroidery needle to hide them through. Okay, as I told you, we are going to repeat the same in the other side, and with this now we finished. Okay, if you want, you can put a bottom or a brush to close the back, or also if you want you can crochet the knit, crochet the bottom too. Look, I finished to sew both sizes, and I finished to hide all the loosened threads that I had. Between my thing I found this wooden bottom, so I'm going to use it as a decoration because I think I'm going to use some stickers under to close, but for now I will leave it open. If you want, you can make this for yourself or for a party. I was thinking that you can give it as a souvenir after your party, right? It will be a nice detail. Well, as I told, remember, beautiful, easy, and useful too, and also it helps us to learn more about how to knit. If you are learning how to knit, and if you are a beginner in this work, well, I think that this is a perfect project to make and to start making your own creations. I hope that you have enjoyed making this stitch with me. Remember, this was the rise stitch using your needles. Well, remember that before you go, don't forget to give me a like, to subscribe and share this video if you like it. Thank you so much, and see you in the coming videos. Please don't forget also to leave me your comments. Thank you for spending this time with me, and see you also in my social media, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and also in my Spanish channel, Laura Cepeda. If you want me to make some of the projects that are there in Spanish, I can make them in English, but please let me know in the comments too. Thank you so much. Bye.